yeah. Ball in my court, high step is a layup. My life like a movie, just keep moving, it's a trailer. Chefing in my kitchen, got me trying to get my cake up. I thank God for all this coming to me, not straight up. Ball in my court,
what's the vibes, my guy?
Tired, bro. You know, got a lot going on.
Better wake up. We got a pod to do, man.
Yeah, just got sued.
You got to sit down and do the work.
Just had a lawsuit.
This is what we're starting with on the pod? Tell me about it, man. I mean, you brought it up, not me.
Yeah, client and I had a disagreement. She owed me some money. I withheld giving her work. She felt, I don't know what she felt, honestly, but I did some research on her, found out that she had failed to pay other people or struggled to pay other people. So I held my ground, and that started to ask people questions. Next thing you know, she says that she wants to sue me. I said, I got all the paperwork.
What's she suing you for?
Defamation of character. That's one thing, because she thought that I was like slandering her name because of all these things that people told me. And I was like, hey, this is what I've heard from other people. So, and for the work that I did for her, we went to court and spoke to the judge. I told them I came with paperwork, receipts. I came with the projects I already completed.
So you were on court this week?
Last week, yeah. And the judge was like, do you want the projects, miss? And she's like, of course I want the projects. She's like, then why don't you just pay him? She had nothing to say. So everything that
Sounds like a TV show.
I mean, bro, it was like I came in on some, like I came in dressed all black.
Ooh,
I had a beret on. I was like, I went in there like a Black Panther.
Funeral Ash.
I was ready.
You had the suit on? You had the suit?
Had the suit, had the overcoat, had a beret, had gold watch. I had it all, bro. I really came in on some, Your Honor, I object. And then it was just literally just talking.
Did you feel like you were playing a role with that getup?
Of course. Every time you go into anything like that, you feel like you're playing a role. I feel like I'm playing a role on a podcast right now, and so do you. That's how life works.
I would say so.
When you're on stage, you're performing.
But we talked about it. Like the way I talk on podcasts has bled into how I talk in real life.
Well, that's what, if you do it often enough, you know what I mean? That's what happens. You know, like it's one of the main reasons why, like, I haven't become a YouTuber, you know?
You are a YouTuber. You're an Instagrammer. But you're an Instagram personality.
I do things and I put it on YouTube, but I'm not a YouTuber. I think there's a difference. YouTubers are just like, their personality is what is selling on their YouTube page. And then it's like you create a world where every single thing you do, you try to curate into more content on YouTube. You know? So I don't want to be that. I want to enjoy my life a little bit more than that, you know, and not have to document every single part of it and feel like obligated to document every single part of it to earn a check. You know, if I can figure out a way to create a YouTube page where I can passionately make things that are interesting, right? Put that stuff out there and make money off of it, I will do that.
I'm sure there's a way.
I'm sure, you know, it's a lot harder than to just like go out and just like.
With your background in film, you must have that, you know, head up on others, right?
Absolutely. I think the hardest part is just creating the content consistently enough. And that's why YouTubers just are YouTubers, because the only way to make it successful is create a lot of consistent content.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to do it and I have to work with actors and whatnot, you got to wait for all those people. You know, those YouTubers, they just shoot themselves.
Yeah. Mr. Beast was talking about how like one really great video does a lot better than like 50 good videos. So you could probably get to a point where you could make a great video even if it's not that often and it'll just go, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like, the problem is there is no formula to a great video anymore. You know, there's so much content on YouTube that there are so many great things that I watch that I'm like, man, how does this have no views? And it's just because it was posted on the wrong day at the wrong time by the wrong person. But if that was posted at, you know, the right time, right day, all that stuff,
it's really
and
true.
it might come back. Like you like sometimes you'll see people post content and the first year it comes out, it doesn't get a ton of views. And then somebody happens to see it. And then next thing you know, more people see it. And then the algorithms pick it up. And it's like new to new people.
You are absolutely right. And it's crazy because I work on multiple accounts for different shows that I'm on. But some accounts will have more subscribers and followers and get way less views on the same video.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So it's like, I mean, yeah, Mr. Beast can say whatever he wants because he's the #1 dude on YouTube, but like that's not reality sometimes. Like there's a lot. I mean, I watch incredible films by incredible filmmakers, and they have 8,000 views. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like for me, like I have a few videos that have like a couple million on them, and like they aren't that great. They were my early films that I made probably like 8-9 years ago. And
is that part of the reason they have 1 million? Because they've been around?
Yeah, they've been around. I also, like, I happened to get a camera that just came out. And I made a film with that camera, and I wrote, you know, the camera on it.
Captions matter.
Every single person that was looking to get that camera that wanted to make stuff look cinematic was looking at that video, and people liked it. So, like, I mean,
so it was almost like not a tutorial, but people who are interested in filmmaking probably tuned in.
Yeah,
as well.
it was. I mean, people still hit me up to this day about that camera. Like, yo, what are the specs that you use? I'm like, bro, I had that camera 10 years ago. I don't even remember what my specs were. I have no clue. Like, I've advanced from that camera, but to somebody else who's getting that camera that day, it's new. You know what I mean? And often people don't even look at the date on a YouTube video. They just see, oh man, this got 1 million+ views on it, and this is the camera that I've heard that was pretty good. Oh, this is the user that made it. Like, let me ask him some questions. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't help you. I don't remember.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, so it's not as easy as like, so I still think having more content gives you more odds to have a better video, because content that isn't that great sometimes could go viral, you know what I mean? So it's still better to just pump out as much stuff as you possibly can, you know?
Another thing before we segue to basketball is also like you could work on a piece of content for like a good amount of time and it won't do that well, and then you could just throw something out and it goes crazy.
I know. So there's no science to it anymore. So
there isn't. There isn't.
So yeah.
And also follower count, as I kind of just mentioned before, doesn't really matter as much as it used to either because of the algorithms.
Yeah. So like, I mean, you'll see. So I mean, I'll watch some stuff where some people got like this one video that have like 10 million views on it, 20 million views, a bunch of comments and all this stuff, and I'm like, oh, this must be a YouTuber. And then I look, the guy has 500 followers.
Yeah,
and I'm like, he just happened to make one thing that was fucking good, and then you go through the rest of his stuff, and it's not even that crazy, you know?
Yeah.
So you never know.
But I wanted to talk about something that's bubbling up within the NBA zeitgeist.
What's that?
Ducking for seeding, man. Teams are just ducking, bro. They're just ducking.
Fam, I asked you a question last week or the week before, I forget, right? I asked you, do you think the NBA is less competitive in today's game? You said no.
You know what? I was thinking from a player perspective, but this is more of an organizational and coaching perspective.
Either way, I think it trickles down to the players. Like, if you know, like, leadership is an extension of, you know, the people under it, you know what I mean? Or the people under it is an extension of the leadership. Like, if your best player, y'all down 12 in the fourth quarter, your best player kind of mails it in, what does that usually do to the next guy and the next guy and the next guy? So if a team comes in going, yeah, I don't think we're going to beat this team, what's the mentality of the rest of the team? They're like, well, I mean, we ain't even that good. They don't really believe in us. Like, there's few people in the world that are like completely unmotivated. No matter what the circumstances on the outside are going on, I'm going full throttle for what I want to do. That's like 1% of the world. You know what I mean? Most people get influenced by what's going on the other side. What this person's doing. You know what I mean? Like, so if your team is saying, like, you're putting out there, our only desire is to win a playoff round. Like, that's all it is. That's what we're looking for. Like, we don't even know what Joel Embiid's his health is like. We don't even know if he's doing good. We don't even know if the Sixers are going to be that team. But we still don't want to play them. Like, now the Sixers are looking rocky. Sixers look like, I mean, if I was to put any money on Knicks Sixers, it'd be on the Knicks. Like, the Knicks should win this. They should not lose this.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is that they wouldn't even play the Sixers. They would have gotten the Pacers, which is literally the team that they wanted.
That's fair. The crazy thing was, to me, on the Western Conference side of things, people saying that the Lakers should have ducked to get OKC, which made no sense at all. Let me tell you why. First of all, you're going to have to go through Denver at some point. Second of all, I think with a fully charged LeBron, you have more of a chance than towards the end of the playoffs, right? Third of all, like, the basketball gods are looking down at you. And fourth of all, mathematically, like, you want one chance to get into the playoffs, or do you want two? Like, it makes no sense at all to duck, and they didn't because they're a competent franchise.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, man. This is the problem with analytics. Like, the eye test doesn't seem real to people anymore, right? Everything is an equation now. Everything is, well, what are the odds? What is the best possibility? What is the best route to take? Who will give me the best opportunity? Like, that's the problem. Like, here's the thing, right?
But one thing before you talk, the simple analytics is you have more chances to get in the playoffs if you play hard for the first game. Like, that's simple analytics, right? Like, you have two chances to get in instead of one.
I understand,
yeah.
But here's what their analytics is. We'd rather take one chance on teams that we know we can beat versus one team that we know we can't beat. You know what I mean?
Which they didn't do, by the way. But go ahead.
That was the logic. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like this is why so many people from previous generations often lament about the current generation not being as competitive. And people might say soft or whatever it is. It's like this type of stuff, right? I remember when in the past you would lose to a team a lot, right? This one team always had our number. And motherfuckers were headhunting for that team. They wanted revenge. Like, they would be upset if that team lost earlier because they wanted to go through that team. You know what I mean? You wanted to look at that person. You want the competition. You want to beat that guy. It feels good to beat the bullies. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that shit, and I feel like that shit's trickled down to the whole league where, oh, Ant's nice. I don't want to cover that nigga. Like, you hear these people talking on the podcast about the Derrick Rose flu. You heard about that, right?
Oh, yeah. People don't want to play against him?
People don't want to play? I'm like, bro, what's
But that's
going
a while ago. You're talking about the new era.
Well, I mean, that's still part of the new era. You know what I mean? I'm talking about, we talking about the 90s. We done with the 90s. That's what when I say the old era, that's what I mean. That's really what I mean.
D Rose has been 16 years in the league already? Yeah. I mean, that is kind of an old era.
You know, but that's 2010. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like that's not that long ago. You know what I mean? I still think that's kind of new era. This motherfucker D Rose was just in the league. You know what I mean? But anyways, like,
I actually seen him sitting on the bench for Memphis. Is he not? He might still be in the league.
Yeah. So, but at the same time, it's like that's what happens now. Motherfuckers don't want to play against Luka. Like, stars are constantly switching.
Luka got a lot of people's heart.
I get it, but at the same time, like, as a competitor, don't you want to go against the best? Don't you want to, like, that's how you prove you're the best. Like, there's so many debates about who's better than this person, but it's hard to make those debates when you don't see that head-to-head matchup all the time. You know what I mean? It's constantly like, what, I gotta switch because
Yeah.
I want to get Mike Conley covering me so I can get the mismatch. I want to have their weakest
Yeah,
guy
I mean,
covering me.
I'm with you, bro. Because you've played pickup against people, and I've played on teams with like 5 or 6 NBA players overseas, and I always talk about how I never played much defense, but I did always want to see like how I would match up against guys that like established NBA players, good NBA careers, and I probably played harder against them than anybody else.
Of course, that's
Yeah,
how it
yeah.
should be. Like,
Yeah.
like I'm not saying these dudes you're gonna be better than them. If a dude cooks you, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you most likely you're supposed to turn up when you go against the best.
Yeah.
And these guys
I
are
agree.
turning down. Like, I don't want to go as hard
it's not
against
from the
them.
player's perspective. This is more like media. Like Michael Greenberg is an older dude, and he's in media, and he said that, but the team didn't actually do it at the end of the day.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
But I mean, flip side to a team that did do it was the Cleveland Cavaliers.
They did.
Like, come on, like this happens all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And bro, it's like they gave up because they wanted an easier route, and now they're probably gonna lose to Orlando.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what are you gonna say that when you lose to a worse team? Like at the end of the day, bro. Like, what's the problem is like, and I said this last week, right? It's a product of microwave executive work and microwave coaching. Like, if these guys are on such short leashes, like a win to them is, hey, I made it to the second round. We haven't done that since before LeBron. That's a win. So if that's your goal, like it's a loser's mentality. But if winning, the metric of winning is having more success than the last guy, of course you're gonna take that route.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know what it is, but it's like the current NBA structure, like it's like get rid of him. If he's not enough, if there's a slight bit of inconsistency, let's get rid of him. Like, you don't get a shot to like build out something. You know what I mean? Like look at Adrian Griffin. Dude was 30-13. Y'all they didn't even give him a shot to be a good coach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the problem. And executives is on the same type of leash. Like, we just got Bradley Beal and fucking Kevin Durant. Like, we should be in the finals. Like, it takes time to gel. Like, I think LeBron and the Miami Heat, they created a standard that is just not reasonable. Like, they went to the finals their first year. That's crazy. You know?
Yeah.
They won a championship the second year. Like, even though those are great players, like, it takes a lot to do that. Like you have to have the right equation of great players where somebody, i.e. Chris Bosh, is willing to be like, yo, I'm going to put my ego aside and I'm only going to score this amount of points and I'll be a worse version of myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I'll help in this area and help in this area. But it might affect my numbers later on down the road. Like his career numbers are worse. Like Chris Bosh could have stayed in Toronto or gone to some other team and been a 25 plus 30 point a game scorer for the rest of his career. You know what I mean? Like, and been looked at completely differently.
Yeah.
So it's tough. Like, I mean, I just think there's no patience anymore in this league. You know, it's just like,
Well, you know who had no patience?
no.
The NBA when it comes to Jonte Porter. Where betting on yourself goes wrong. What's up with your man, bro? What's up with your man? He's coming from a basketball family for 20 racks?
Yeah,
And he didn't even bet the over. He bet the under. At least
Yeah.
Pete Rose bet the over. He bet on himself to be good.
Fam, honestly, people are calling him dumb. People are saying all this crazy shit, but like, real talk, if you out there like that, you got a problem. You have a gambling problem. Like, that has nothing to do with making money. That has nothing to do with,
There's an underlying
like,
problem.
he got a problem. He probably, like, that's his thing. He dog. I know people who lose a lot on bets, and I'm not saying he was losing. I don't even know what his ratio was from win to loss. but there are people that get exhilaration from just making bets. It's like playing pickup on a Saturday when NBA players are there or professional, overseas players are coming in, and you get that, when the gym is packed and competition's crazy, you get that rush. Some people get that from betting on themselves and doing stuff like that, doing crazy, like on the border. Like, he got a problem. Like, dog, that's like he wasn't even making money like that off that bet. You know what I mean?
Not to compare to what his contract is,
yeah,
or what he could,
and it's
or what he could potentially make.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? Like, dog, it don't, like, bro. And on top of it, you got a brother that's making $30 million. Yeah. Like your family is good. Y'all are good. So that's another, like, Michael Jordan didn't have to do all that betting, but it was part of his personality. It's like he couldn't get enough competition from the players that he was playing against. So he needed another level of competition where he had no real ability to affect it.
Remember doing it in the back, betting him?
Absolutely. Like, you know what I mean? That's like, the thing about it is, like, here's the thing, and and this is a testament to Michael Jordan's greatness, right? He truly believed that he could win any game, and he was dominating the league for years, and probably got bored of the lack of competition. When you go to a fucking casino, and your entire winning success is potential on luck. It's just based upon luck, because gambling is, most of it is luck. There's some like somewhat skill involved with it, but like the skill is,
depends on the game, but yeah,
the skill is more manipulation. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, the cards are what you get. When you roll the dice, there's no strategy to rolling something good. You know what I mean? So, like, a lot.
Well, when you're betting on basketball, there's knowledge involved, right?
That's not what Michael Jordan was doing, though.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure he does that now, but like, he was out there gambling. He was at the tables and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And Mike got exhilaration from that because he might lose.
I mean, he used to bet whose stuff came out of the airport first, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like,
but then he would pay the dude to make sure his luggage came out first.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Like, that's a problem. There's some people that just got a problem. So I think that's what I think with him. Like, I just don't think that like he was like, man, I could get some extra dollars. Like that, there's no way. You know what I mean? He got a problem. I hope he's good. I mean, like, that's just it's beyond bonehead. So it has to be, when things are beyond bonehead, you got to have a problem. You know what I mean?
You think it's justified, banned for life?
Yeah. It's the first thing that I think Adam Silver's done that's justified. Like, he's kind of a softer handed commissioner.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it's an easy ban of life because it's a bubble player that nobody really knows. That's what I'm saying. So
do you feel like a star would get banned for life?
No, I mean, I think a star would get banned if it was David Stern. Absolutely. Like, you have to make a statement about that shit. You know what I mean? Like, dog, they already think that the game is rigged, and it probably is. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure that there are referees, other players that are doing it much better ways, right? And so if
fans thought it was legit rigged, they probably wouldn't watch. Though,
I don't believe that. I think fans will still watch it. I think there's a decent amount of fans that think it's legit rigged and still watch it. You know, I guess
people watch wrestling. I guess people watch wrestling, right?
Yeah, the game is more entertainment than competition now. That's what they're aiming for. I don't like it as much, but I understand.
I mean, the NBA is all entertainment. EuroLeague is probably more real basketball.
Yeah, I mean, there's like the NBA is like, the product is designed more for children. You know, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and I was like, you know, we're in our 40s now. I mean, you know, like, and it's like, we're the ones who sit down and watch an entire 2.5 hour, 3 hour game. Our generation and up. Young kids don't watch the game 100%. Like that. But the problem
wonder how that's going to change.
The product
TV
is geared towards them, though. You know what I mean? So it's a highlight driven game now. So that is why so many older people lament about the game sucks now. It's boring because we're watching it fine-tuned. Like, bro, young kids don't even watch TV, let alone like, you know, watching a game. They
They're
don't,
on their phone.
you know what I mean? They watch it on their phone. So if you're watching, you're rarely going to find a young kid who watches an entire 2.5 hour game on their phone. You're going to be scrolling through Instagram. You're going to be, you know, playing a video game. You're going to be doing all this other stuff.
Snapchat,
yeah,
TikTok.
Snapchat, all this shit. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. The game is getting branded to those people, but those people don't watch it the same way other people watch it.
Yeah.
That's the disconnect in generations.
Yeah. Kings just beat the Warriors, man. Death of a dynasty. The Warriors postseason lasted one game. It's over, man. But I do think there's
You think it's over?
I think the dynasty's done. Except if Kuminga could take a crazy leap next year. I think he's the key for their success because with the decline of their three best players, who knows if Clay will even be there next year, which I think they should re-sign him. Obviously, it won't be as much money as he thought he might make. I still think with those three, and if Kuminga could take a leap with some of the younger players like Pods and Jackson Davis, that they could still compete. The thing is, like, you're not going to be able to rebuild with Steph playing at a high level because he's just too good.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like, I don't think that Kuminga is the key. I think Kuminga definitely helps. I mean, like, I think Kuminga could be a piece. The reason I think the Warriors still have a fighting chance, right, is because the decline of the two players that really had the biggest decline, right, is Klay Thompson and Andrew Wiggins.
Do you think Clay's season is as bad as people say it is?
It's
Because
not.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
First of all, like, but here's the thing, right? This is the biggest decline in Clay's game. His big game performance ability. That is one of the things that, like, you talk about how many times their backs were against the wall, and that's not just the games. That's still within those games. That's like the third quarter where they're like, oh man, the other team's making a run. Klay comes out 4-5 threes, keeps them in the game.
Third quarter Klay.
Like so that is one of the elements that's missing the most. At the end of the day, people say Klay had a bad season. He's terrible. Dude had 18 points a game, which is like 2 or 3 off his average, right? Shot 39.5% from 3, which is right about his average, right? He led the league in free throws, I think, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, he didn't
There's
have
something-
defensively, he wasn't the same, but here's the thing, right? This is why I think the Warriors still have a fighting chance. They're on the up incline. People think, oh my God, they had such a bad season. They're on the incline. They had a better season than the season before, right? They had a better record. Their numbers were better than the previous season, right? So the fact that their numbers are better from the previous season with a season where Draymond literally missed more than a quarter of the season, right? 25 some odd games, destroyed their rhythm. They also completely changed their lineup, their roster, their players that they depend on. They started focusing on completely different people, right? And I think that Klay and Andrew Wiggins, right? I don't think there is a significant amount of physical decline. Klay more than Andrew, right? It's the mental stuff, right? Klay is mentally, you can see it. He's just not there. So I think the mental
At times it got better as the season went on for both of them, actually.
Yeah, I agree. But
Yeah.
the consistency, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, the mental stuff, to be a great player, you have to be mentally there consistently. You know what I mean? You can have a great mental day where you're cooking. The problem is when great players, when they're having bad days, they still figure out ways mentally to still be great players. The moment Klay misses 3 shots in a row, it's kind of over for him, which I feel like he could pull out of that a little bit more. He got into a crazy hole against the Kings, right? And then he started pressing more and more. He started shooting shots that Klay doesn't normally shoot, driving to the basket.
He overthinks.
like out of control. Like, I understand you're trying to make something happen. Often that's what they tell people to do, but that's uncharacteristic move of yours. You know what I mean? So that's his biggest issue. Same with Andrew Wiggins. It's a mental thing with him right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because of the family issues he's having, if how engaged he is with basketball currently. Like, he is a very
or how he ever was. That one season might have been an anomaly that they won.
He's a super sensitive person. You know what I mean? Like he feels deeply, you know? And he's going through some personal stuff. And some people just cannot compartmentalize. Like, I'm the type of person, when I go through personal stuff, playing basketball is one of my favorite things to do, because it's one of the few things where while I'm doing it, I literally, nothing else matters. I don't care what I don't even think about anything else. I'm so singularly focused. That's just not how everybody thinks. There's a lot of people that it's the opposite. It's like, I can't take pleasure in anything when I'm going through something. And that's generally depression. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, that's the definition of depression. Yeah. Like, you know, people who've never dealt with depression, they go, why don't you just do something you like? Make yourself happy. Go here, do this, get this food or something like that. Right? When you're truly depressed, it's a chemical thing.
Yeah.
And every single thing, even the greatest things that you love in life, can't make you happy because it's chemical.
Yeah.
And that's probably what he's dealing with, you know?
Yeah. I mean, with Klay, and I'm not saying he won't come back even stronger, but, you know, you mentioned the stats, but there's something more with stats when it comes to Klay. Like, it feels like he has less presence on both sides of the floor. Like, sometimes he's not even there. And I don't think you could really equate that with stats. And I think it's because of what you're talking about, the mental side of things, and then also the injury. Another thing is like, he's a free agent. He might not even be back with the Warriors. I mean, he's linked to the Orlando Magic, who need shooting. I wonder if a change of scenery might be better for him and the Warriors.
Possibly, but it'll be sad. Like, it's, you know, like,
why would it be sad if he goes somewhere and plays really well and could help a team win games, win playoff series? You never know, maybe even win a championship. Actually, that might be good for Klay, winning a championship somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be good for him. I think it's bad for the Warriors. I think that the Warriors have built this dynasty like on a type of a familial, they created this like family type of environment, right? And I think symbolism is really important to them. And I think breaking up that main trio, the main core guys, I think that would really
sometimes
do
you
a
gotta
lot for
adapt.
them. I agree, but I think that like they don't seem like adapting type people. Like, they don't seem like
they picked up KD after going.
I mean,
on
it's KD.
Yeah, I'm saying though,
it's KD.
That's adapting.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
I mean, they were already great.
Yeah, I mean, I think Steph would struggle with that. Like, because I think the number one thing that they need to do to adapt is get rid of Draymond Green.
Nah.
I truly.
I mean, Draymond is there, right? He signed.
But here's the thing, man. Draymond was probably, out of all the things that you mentioned, the Andrew Wiggins, blah, blah, I think the Draymond Green situation is what affected them the most this season.
Probably.
And
they were really good when he was actually. They were really good when he was actually playing, though.
Yeah, these last 2 years, right? Draymond's bullshit has been off balance with his production. You know, the ratio has been off, which for most of his career, it's been, you know, the ratio has been productivity over bullshit, right? It's been off. And these 2 years have been their worst seasons. You know, they've been really, really bad. So I think that these guys are all sensitive, mental people who, when the boat is rocking, it's hard for them to get a rhythm. You know what I mean? And Draymond rocks the boat more than anybody. So, man, like, I remember when they were discussing the Draymond Green trading, try to get Ben Simmons situation. I thought that would have been a really nice clean slate for both players. And I think that, but now Ben Simmons, I don't know what's going to happen to him. He just got cut from his national team.
Oh wow.
Australian. I don't know what's going on with his career, bro.
But he already got those off-season pictures popping with he's in the weight room. The internet goes crazy when they see that.
Same player anymore, man. Like that dude. I feel bad for Ben Simmons, man, because he is a supreme talent, bro.
Definitely.
He is he is a supreme talent, and like he should be a top 10 player in the NBA right now.
Yep.
But
his combination of size, IQ, athletic ability, fluidity, defense, passing ability.
Speed.
He's
ball
a top
handling ability.
Yeah,
I think that's what changes him more than that's the advantage he gets over anybody else. The ball handling ability.
Yeah.
Like that's one thing I wanted to talk about, ball handling, man. I think it's one of the things that I feel like we're losing in the league. Mm-hmm. Even though we're gaining it in different positions,
mm-hmm.
like I find so many teams that struggle creating offense with their ball handling ability that opens up the court for other people, if that makes any sense. There's so much more emphasis on individual ball handling to create your own shot, right? There's less emphasis on ball handling ability that opens up the court for other people. Like, that is one thing that Golden State was really struggling with. They have nobody that
Chris
can
Paul should be that.
Chris Paul was supposed to be that, and he can't. But then they had nobody else. That's why Steph only took whatever amount of shots he took, because they just doubled him, got the ball out of his hand, and nobody else could fucking dribble.
Yeah.
Nobody could create for anybody else.
There's just less pure point guards in the league.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We came to a point where everybody was like, oh, the point guard's getting diminished. Everyone's 6'5" and up and blah, blah, blah. But now it's like, it feels like literally teams that are struggling when they're getting pressed in the perimeter, it's because they're lacking people that can dribble the ball. Same thing happened with Miami. Miami had nobody. They didn't have. The problem is that they didn't have.
They don't have a lot of people that could game manage. No,
they didn't have. What's his name? Terry Rozier didn't play.
But he's not really a table setter either. He's like get his own bucket type player.
I understand, but the way he dribbles the ball does create offense for other people, because he can get to the basket in a different type of way. There's so many teams that I just noticed this the other day when I really watching Golden State, and I was like, man, dog, they just keep getting the ball out of Steph. That's what they did. Just trap Steph at half court, make him give up the ball, and nobody else could create any offense for anyone else. So it sucked, and that's why Steph only took what he shot 50%, had 20 points. Like, he just didn't get enough touches because there was like no one else could really create offense for them.
Part of the reason why the pure point guard position is becoming extinct is because of the Warriors style of play, because it was a shared duty between Draymond and Steph, and teams started to imitate that. And it's interesting that they were the team that was a big reason that the CP3 archetype player isn't in the league anymore, and then CP3 comes to the Warriors, and he's supposed to help them in that regard.
I mean, here's the thing, man. Like I was talking to a dude the other day, and I was like, I hope and I wish Jalen Brunson could be a more popular player. Because
he's very popular right now.
He's not popular.
What do you mean?
Popular.
What do you mean he's not popular?
I mean, the guy is. I think he, out of I think he has 200 and something followers on
Doesn't
Instagram.
It's not all about Instagram.
I
bro.
understand that,
Yeah.
but like he's not a popular player. He's not like he's popular, obviously, to people who know the game, but he's not mainstream popular.
SGA isn't mainstream popular yet either.
I agree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
In
I
that
don't,
regard.
but I don't understand what SGA has to do with me talking about Jalen Brunson being popular.
What do you mean?
I said Jalen Brunson's not a super popular player.
But you were talking about mainstream. I was talking about in basketball, and I was saying that.
Well, that's what I meant. Mainstream, popular.
Oh, you mean like who my grandma knows, or like who my mom would know?
Well, who's going to influence the game? Right? That's the popularity I mean. Influence. Right? So I like you know, I mean SGA is even light years more popular than Jalen Brunson just because of his style, the way he dresses. I mean, he just got a signature shoe deal. Like Jalen Brunson's probably not going to get a shoe deal. And that's cool, right? But I wish Jalen Brunson was more popular because
He started the pod, which is going to
What?
help him. He started a pod, which should help him.
Maybe, yeah. Because he would influence more kids and more people to want to play like that.
But he don't play like a pure point guard either.
But he plays like in a way where it can be emulated by other people and it can create offense for other people.
You're saying he could table set. That's basically what you're saying.
I guess so.
Yeah.
You know? And like that the game is different. Like it's about go get your own by yourself. You know, and then the
right?
next
AAU.
guy gets his own by himself.
Yeah.
You know, and like I hope that he gets to a point where he's super popular and people can go, wow, this is a better brand of basketball, you know? So I don't know if he'll ever get that because he's just not, he doesn't really strike that type of attention.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I was shocked. I looked at his Instagram and I was just shocked at how little followers he had. I couldn't believe.
Yeah, I mean, he just became a top 5, 10 NBA player recently. It's not like he's been there for years.
I understand, but there's
Yeah.
like John Morant's not a top 5 player.
yeah,
you know what I mean?
But the
it's
way-
like
the style of way John Moran is
I
not,
agree.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's you're literally saying what I'm saying. Like
agree.
certain people have a certain style
Mm-hmm.
that is more catered to being popular.
Anthony
And
Edwards should be popular,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, Anthony Edwards has got 5+ million followers. Like he's like, you know what I mean? This dude Jalen Brunson, I think 250,000 followers. He's just not popular. Like Jalen Brunson could probably walk down the street and people would be like, "Hey, what's up, guy?" And nobody even know who he is.
It might be like that with SGA.
Nah.
You don't think so?
Have you seen FGA
Well,
off
also,
the court,
the
brother?
height thing matters. Remember John Stockton in the Dream Team? Like, he could walk through a
but
crowd.
I agree. But like SGA is not super tall. He's your height. You know what I mean? Like that's not.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? That's
yeah.
not like he's a kind of a normal height. You know,
Well,
SGA is your height.
Yeah,
You're,
I-
like if you
no-
walk down the street, nobody's gonna be like, "Oh, look at this freak tall person." You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like you know what I mean? So but SGA, the way he dresses, you know, he is super tapped into the fashion culture. So like there are people who look up to him fashion wise. Like he's got his own fashion line. He's about to create his own shoe. You know what I mean? Like he is tapped in a different world. You know what I mean? Like SGA, I'm not saying he's the most popular, obviously he's not, but he is on another level beyond Brunson, you know?
Yep.
So it's like, but at the same time, like I would love to see somebody like Brunson, you know, get a certain type of influence with his popularity because he's playing the game the right way, you know, and I think that like people are saying every point guard's got to be 6'5" and up now. That's the thing. Everybody wants a SGA.
Part of that is for the defensive side of the ball, right? You don't
know-
want people that could be targeted.
Okay, but here's the thing.
I'm just saying the reason, bro.
Here's the thing. Jalen Brunson is targeting motherfuckers. Taller people can't cover him.
No, 100%.
So it's like
no, I'm saying the general idea of not having shorter players on the basketball court is because they could get targeted
Of course.
defensively because that's what the NBA is now.
I understand, but
Yeah.
that's the product that I'm talking about where it's just analytics. People are talking about this analytic stuff. Like, if you have a shorter person that's faster, he also can't be guarded. You know what I mean? Like, so no matter what
Every trend
you have,
every trend has a tipping point.
yeah,
for sure.
and no matter what if you're a great basketball player, you're in the NBA you're NBA, you're a great basketball player no matter what. You know what I mean? You have an advantage at some level. You know what I mean? Like there is an advantage, even being short or being tall or wherever. Like, bro, Muggsy Bogues is 5'3". Nobody wanted to dribble the ball on him. Nobody.
He had a different kind of motor.
I understand, but that's the advantage of his height was he was so low to the ground. You couldn't. They were getting shot clock violations because dudes were back posting up to bring the ball up because nobody wanted to get the ball stolen from him. Mm-hmm. You know, like Steve Smitty talks about. You know, Smitty was a point guard in at Michigan State in college, right?
He has his own move.
Yeah, Smitty was a point guard at Michigan State, and he wanted to be a point guard because he looked up to Magic Johnson. That was his favorite player. Played point guard all throughout college. Came to the NBA. He said, bro, I couldn't play point guard. He's like, I literally couldn't get the ball up because of Muggsy Bogues. Muggsy Bogues turned me into a small forward. You know? Like, I mean, dude was all defense, I think like 7 times, bro. Led the league in steals so many times. So, like, there are advantages to being shorter or whatever, and I think that people just need to exploit that stuff, and as opposed to jumping on trends. Everyone's jumping on trends. Trends, yes, can help, you know what I mean, but like jumping on trends and working on analytics is just like AI. It's literally the exact same thing. That is what AI does. They take the trends and they make the most calculated decision based off of that. But there are always anomalies. There's always aberrations. There's like, if you are constantly
trends in history.
Yeah, if you're constantly working off of trends and stuff like that, you're gonna miss the Giannis Antetokounmpos. You're gonna miss the Jalen Brunsons.
Jokic.
You're gonna miss the Jokic's. You're gonna miss these guys. You know what I mean? So, and these guys are the greatest players in the league right now. These are some of the greatest players in the league. So, like, you have to have a little bit of both. You know?
Yep. Well, good stuff. We ended with SGA a little bit. We'll start with SGA next episode.
Okay.
We're out of here. Peace.